Tommy, I would imagine emotions are running pretty high.
Yeah, not mine, but lots of people's are, yeah, lots of things said, possibly a little bit severe or harsh, certainly from behind me at the dugout today, so yeah, that was a little surprising, but huge moment when we've thought we've scored the second goal, blatantly, perfectly good goal, but for some reason we were allowed to celebrate it, and then somebody decided it was offside, and I've seen it back and it certainly isn't. So from that point of view, I'm not using that as an excuse, but it's a different game. At 2-1, we pegged ourselves back into the game, and I'm sure the last whatever it was left in the game, 30 minutes, would have been very different. Ben Stevens was actually walking around the back of the goal, and it might be that they've seen, I don't know, as a possible offside, because Jordan is a good yard and a bit onside after the ball has left Denton's foot. So it's frustrating. Obviously I can't excuse the fact that we went and lost the game. How we've lost it, I don't know. Well, I do, because we've made mistake after mistake after mistake. As defenders, we haven't been strong enough. As creators, we haven't been creative enough, and as strikers, we haven't finished the chances well enough. We had more. You lads were absolutely lording over the same 11 players on Saturday for the first half. In this half today, the first half, there was as much possession in their half and entrances into their box and efforts at their goal probably, but they didn't put them in the goal, and that's a big difference. So you cannot win games if you don't score enough goals, and we didn't.
And unfortunately, it was a mistake.
Well, it was more than one. It was more than one. You know, it was a mistake because we didn't win the first contact in the box. We didn't get on the second contact. We've made a horrendous decision in the middle of the pitch, and he wasn't backed up by the bloke covering him. So I've got no grumbles with either of their goals. They're just absolutely rank bad defending from us. People who get lauded over at this football club as defenders, not good enough. You've got to take it on the chin. But that's as much as I'll be detrimental to the lads. They've had we're in the middle of a great campaign and still are. Please don't forget that. Still more than 10 games. I think there's 11 or 12 games left to play. I think we're a million miles away, so we've got to move on to the next game. I'm more concerned about the lads picking up injuries as we go. They've been influential players, and it looks like we're not going to have 2 or 3 of them for the rest of the season, so that's more of a concern than anything to me. I don't care about the next result now when I think about it like that.
Yeah, the injuries do seem to be coming thick and fast, unfortunately.
Well, that's the schedule. We said this to you at the beginning of February. Well, we had 8 games in February. We've got 7. I think we've played 4 of them in March, 3 of them in March. We've got 4 more to do yet. So, listen, we knew it was going to be a tough ask, and it is. It is a tough ask, but we are where we are, and we'll continue to try and strive to be better than where we are, and that's all I can tell you.
It's just a weird streak of results against the teams towards the foot of the table.
There's probably something in that, you know. At the end of the day, it's not just us who are doing that, it's other teams as well. So I said, the last thing I said to the players, one of the things I said to the players before the game was, they have every right to believe they're going to get 3 points, and for as good a reason. You know, they've got to win. You know, it makes me laugh. If they play like that every week, Farsley, they're pulling their manager's pants down. They should be playing like that. They should be winning more games. It's simple. They can't be playing like that every week. But hey ho, you know, it's not my job to talk about them. We weren't good enough to win the game. I'm not sure we were bad enough to lose the game, but the mistakes we made in defending the 2 opportunities for them to score, because Sam hasn't had a great deal to do other than that, is really, really disappointing.
There was one bright spot, is that Tommy got his first for the goal, and he took his goal well.
Yeah, listen, we've been very confident about when we do introduce Tom into the side that he's going to hold his own, no problem. He's technically a very good footballer. He's got a really good football brain. So yeah, it didn't surprise me. Like I said, I thought one thing once he scored, I thought we were going to go on and win the game. And like I said, that opportunity has been taken away through decision that when the guys look back at it, they're going to have to admit we got it very, very wrong.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't do anything about it, can we?
No, they'll say, oh, well, sorry, and that'll be it. Well, they might, or they might not. They might ask us to just look at it from a different angle. I thought he was offside. That's sometimes what happens, but hey, we got to get on with it. Like I said, we put the defeats behind us as quick as we do the wins and the draws. So it's not one we wanted, but like I said, we move on.
You mentioned you're obviously getting some stick towards the end, I guess?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, you get 1 or 2 people who obviously know more than I do, so they want me to do things that they want to do rather than what we've done all season. But I think to start lambasting individual players into my ear is a little harsh. I think we've earned the right to have a bad game or to have a bad result now and again at home. You know, I've said this before. We stand up to anybody in this, not just in this division, in any division, and we've our home form this season. So they haven't had too much to moan about. And if a half of football or a losing of a game is that, then I'd suggest that person doesn't come back.
On the pitch, though, it's now a reaction needed, isn't it, away at Kiddie?
Yeah, listen, get easier down, of course. Kidderminster away from home's very, very tough ask. They're a good side. Again, another team I think aren't far away from being involved in the shake-up at the end of the season. So, yeah, we'll concentrate on that as soon as that comes out my face, as I always say to you.
As we're seeing, though, and as you mentioned earlier, that there are some very strange results, you know, week in, week out.
There will be, and there will be from now to the end of the season, because every team, whatever you are in the division, if you're down at the bottom like Farsley are at the moment, or if you're in the middle and you think you can get into the playoffs, or you've got to stay safe, or if you're in the playoffs and you're trying to get the promotion spot, then listen, nobody's going to roll over and let you win a game. And you know, we didn't roll over. We just made a couple of errors that, for the amount of chances they've had, and then for them to score 2 goals, that's hard to take, especially when we feel we should have been awarded with 2 goals ourselves. But you know, like I said, we can't. I'm not whinging and I'm not making excuses. We weren't good enough on the night to win. I'll take that on the chin. It's rather big, but the beard can come off now because we lost.
Can you just expand on the injuries you were talking about in defence?
No, I don't really want to talk about it publicly because I don't want anybody to start making detrimental comments about, oh, that's it then, and what have you, because they're players who've played a lot and been very influential in the whole season. But you can see what I'm talking about with the people who are coming off the pitch week after week. But listen, it's part and parcel of the game. We're not the only club who get injuries. So it's the ones that you know are on and who haven't been involved recently. Some for longer than others, and those who had to come off tonight don't look like they'd be playing again.
So you might lose Tyler and Kyle for the rest of the season.
Maybe can. Well, if you come off with what the injury I was described to Kyle, that's going to be a little while. And Dents looks like he's done.
Losing both in one game that you need.
Again, I mean, listen. Again, in the moment, you don't think of that. And you think, well, wow, there's 2 players there that started in my team. Without being disrespectful to the people who replaced them or the way we play after that, our whole plan had changed because we wanted to get Jordan and Aaron on the pitch by probably 65 minutes because we knew that they were going to get deeper and deeper as the pressure mounted and we had more pace on the pitch. And Denton goes and does it literally seconds before we're going to put Aaron on the pitch. So that's a shame. It is a shame, but it's football and it's how you roll with the punch. You know, we didn't manage to get back up after the disappointment of not getting the second goal or having the second goal chalked off. But to lose the game at the end like we did, it's galling. And I understand the frustration from the fans. You know, they've got to just stick with us. You know, at the end of the day, we were top of the table when we walked into this game, and we've got 750 people here. Do they want it?
Can I ask, are you able to bring anyone else in? What's the situation?
Well, up until the 23rd of March, you are. Whether I'll be able to or not, I don't know. I'll have to have a chat. I had a chat with the chairman before the game about certain things, but that landscape's changed because of what's happened in the game, not because of the result, because of the possible effects of the injuries that they've picked up this evening. So I'm sure me and Steve will speak in the next day or so. But we've got a couple of weeks if we did need to bring anything in. It's whether we, like I said, team top of the division getting 750 people in the game because there was none from Farsley, not a one. Then I can't just think he's got ever-ending pockets. You know, he's got to be helped, got to be backed, and I don't think we're getting backed enough. That's my opinion of it.
Hugo had Hugo had said bring cats, dogs, boyfriends, girlfriends a lot. It's a cold night. It's the 3rd home game in a week.
Yeah, but Hugo's quite ugly. They'll probably be frightened to come see him.
Can we quote you on that?
Yeah, of course you can. Without a shadow of a doubt.
But he did sort of make a bit of a plea.
Listen, we're flabbergasted at it. I mean, I spoke to Gary Setchell a couple of weeks ago and he went, I can't believe you're not getting 1800. He says, you're top of the league, mate. I went, I know. I mean, if you go up a division, if you ever go up a division again at this football club, 750 people through the door is to be laughed at. And we want to be in the next division. Does the town want to be in the next division? That's my question to people.
But you've got absolutely no way of changing that if you're doing everything you are at the moment, top-ish of the league.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, listen, we're delivering. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, I know times are hard and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, this is a town. I've walked every street in this town in the last 2 weeks. Every street in that town centre. And I've looked, and there is no representation of this football club in that town. In sports shops, in charity shops, in hotels, in bars and restaurants. Not a one. And I'm telling you, I've walked every single road and cobbled street.
Was that with the intention of looking for it? You went out.
That's all I did it for. I walked 3.5 miles last week and 4 miles this morning. And I don't see representation of us in that town. And I don't understand that. I really don't. Because what we've given them this season and the last couple of months of last season is staff and players who are giving everything they've got. And we don't come from here. We come from a long way away to do a job. And we're giving everything we've got. And we want to be backed. And don't get me wrong, the people who come every week and the lads and the lasses who travel, can't knock that. But the town came 4,200 strong for Stevenage, less about 300 of them. But that's all the glitz and the glamour games, isn't it? We've got games we need the town behind us between now and the end of the season. And I'd urge them to pack the place out, because we'll be better with more people in, without a shadow of a doubt. And it affects opposition as well. It affects referees. Trust me, I've been at a higher level than this to know that.
Sounds though that some of the reasons for that are not to do with what's on the pitch.
No, it's not.
It's
definitely not. I mean, look, I think we've had 17 games at home and we've only not won about 4 or 5 of them. That's a hell of a record, as far as I'm concerned. It's not, it's not to be sniffed at. And if we could do that, if we'd have that form pro rata between now and the end of the season, we won't be far away, because our away form is bad.